So first some theme music. Oi 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 ah yeah oi oi ah. Ancient voices, ladies and gentlemen. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sunvivor podcast. I know we kind of flopped this last season, pun intended.
Ooh.
See what you like what I did there?
I did.
But this season, we're hoping to be a little more consistent. But first, we have a little off-season series that we're wanting to try out here, which we're calling, tentatively, A Season in Review, which is where we go over the motions, the moments, the players, the characters, and the life and times of a season of Sunvivor. We're hoping to do this with every season, but we thought, what better place to start than our most recent season, Sunvivor Hollywoo fans versus flops. You all know me. I am Mason. Hoping to be a permanent host for this one. Just a quick intro for my my co-host here. You know that meme that says that there's never a pair of two hot best friends? Well, let me introduce you to my best friend, who on his best day, a 4. Steven.
I thought you were going to say a 3.
I was being generous.
Perfect opportunity there.
Oh shit, I should have said 3. God damn it.
You should have said 3. My name is Steven. I'm a host here at Sunvivor. I have been since season 7. I am also an alumni. I've gotten 3rd twice in season 5 and season 6, and I'm also a former player of the season as well. And I'm just here to shoot the breeze and talk about what a great season we had.
It was really a great season. And at the helm of this season is our guest host today, the sole survivor of Sunvivor Hollywoo, fans versus flops, Abram.
Woo!
Hello. Happy to be here. Excited to talk about this once again. Relive some of our favorite moments.
There's a lot of favorite moments. It was a very good season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So where do we want to start, Mason?
First, I do want to say, like, the casting process for this season was, like, so difficult because we had, like, so many great applicants.
We really did. Especially on the fan side, like, we got so many people that it was kind of hard to like, let go of a few of them, you know, because, I mean, I remember there was some arguing.
Yeah, I feel like that's always hard with, like, the half returnee seasons because, like, you're basically cutting your cast in half for, like, new people.
Like, if this was like just a like no returning players at all, I feel like we would have had enough applicants from the fan side and then some left over to fill a whole season, you know, without returnees.
And we would have, like, a good group of people still.
Yeah, no, it was definitely hard. But I think we definitely chose the best, I will say. Maybe a few of them could have been swapped out, but I want to say it was like we had the best crop of players.
I really enjoyed the cast this season. And I was so happy when Abram applied.
Yeah.
Mason messaged me a lot about applying.
Well, I was there when Abram's robbery and Bossing Say occurred, so I was like, we need to rectify this.
I feel like, though, I think it's...
Yeah, and...
Oh, yeah, continue, Abram, sorry.
I was just going to say that I, like, also was hoping that y'all would do a season kind of like this, and I would get another chance to play, because I did have a lot of fun the first time, and I kind of felt like my time was cut a little short.
Oh, yeah, no, we all kind of felt that.
It was cut a lot short.
Yeah,
it was cut a lot short. I was just going to say that, like, I feel like this sort of season was, like, built around players like you, though, Abram. Like, it really was just, like, I remember just even when it was back in just an idea, you know, and we were talking about it, like, before this, like, season even started, before we even started playing, like, you were mentioned as one of the people that we'd love to get back because as we said, your time in Bossing Say was just so short but so good, and you were robbed, as everyone knows.
Winner of most robbed, but I should have taken greed.
But... Well, you did this season.
Yeah.
You definitely redeemed, so let's jump right in then.
Yeah.
So cast reveal happens. We have this amazing cast, and almost immediately there's like a twist thrown on y'all where we have not one, but two people going at the outset. So, Abram, when you saw the whole cast, were you like immediately intimidated by anyone? What were your thoughts about your fellow players?
I didn't coming into it. I didn't know anyone on the fans tribe. I don't think. But because I had, a lot of the people on the flops, or I guess I knew some people from just like being in the John Survivor server, like Brandon and Joe. But on the flops, having played one season and then also been a mentor, I knew some of the people, and I don't know about intimidated, but like I was excited because I knew a lot of them were like really good players. And I had played specifically with like Donnie and Noah before, so I knew that they could like really bring it.
Remind me one more time, Abram. Who are you mentor for in Panem?
Oh yeah.
I was mentor for Sophie, so I had that connection with her coming in, and then also Phoenix.
Classic Phoenix. Phoenix who applied for this season, but then he dropped. Unfortunately, he would have been a crazy character to have on. That is something though that I think is really interesting, because I completely forgot that you did mentor Sophie. So I think that adds like a layer of I don't know, interestingness to like your relationship on once you guys get swapped together and stuff like that, like because I think you were close.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we kind of bonded over it at first, but I think we both kind of felt like at the beginning we didn't quite make the jump to like being like friends versus just like the oh yeah, you were my mentor thing until like the swap. But after that it was great. Yeah, Sophie's great. But I guess that's the other thing about like returnee seasons is that you're always going to have those connections that already exist, especially on the Flops tribe, more so than just in Discord in general. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it is hard to. I think especially these days, I'm seeing so many more and more people that I know are just like mixing in with different orgs that I follow and stuff like that, and it's just becoming such a community where literally everyone is playing every series and everyone kind of knows everyone.
I have never experienced that. I think I've only played alongside one person more than once, and it's fucking Ollie. He just keeps following me around. Anyways,
or the other way around.
I don't know, Ollie. If you're listening, call me. But it's so we have this double tribal twist, and each tribe has only one person win immunity. So on the fans tribe, and I use tribe loosely, of course. On the fans tribe, Minty, who is initially on the outs, ends up winning immunity, leading to the elimination of poor Bon.
Queen Minty.
I know. There's a whole section in Mason's fucking document just entitled Minty, the queen that she is.
Yeah, like I was like during the casting process, I was very high on Minty, and when I heard Mini Queen was like on the outs, I was like, no. And then she won immunity, so I guess I have.
She showed us up.
So you're saying you like immunity?
I'm saying that Minty should thank me for getting as far as she did. But another important thing to mention about the fans tribe is that Brandon, within 30 minutes, I believe, finds the wish list advantage, which later has an impact on the game that I don't think any of us really foresaw.
Yeah.
Towards the end game.
Yeah, he kind of had that chokehold right at the end in the finale, kind of, with his idol.
But of course, that comes later.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so then, on the Flops tribe, a completely different thing is happening, and we have something a little shocking where George actually finds the hidden immunity idol within a couple of hours as well, I believe.
Yeah, he found it very quickly.
He did. We did not expect these to be found so quickly. We will do better in the future, I promise.
I mean, they're both just so like smart at that kind of thing. Like
They really are, yeah.
they're if anyone was going to find them, it was going to be those two. So
Yeah, 100%. Just like George in general, like for the entire pre-merge is just like such a character. Like, he's like all over the place, but like in a good way.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a highlight of like this round for me, or the entire pre-merge for me, was George's obsession with getting together a girls' alliance.
I was he or like George did a lot of sort of, I don't know, like alliances based on like surface level identity, I guess. Like he had the
Yeah.
old people alliance and the girls alliance and stuff like that.
Yeah. He
He
really
was just trying to find that connection.
I know. I mean, I gotta applaud him. I mean, he put his life on the line for women, and we stand that.
Oh yeah.
We stand that noise.
And then he had the audacity to call it the Girl Power Alliance. And then like you got Savannah and you got Sophie, and then in the middle you just got George.
I'm pretty sure in their comps in that round, they both were like, "What the fuck? Like, why are we in a girls' alliance with George?"
Savannah like told me, she was talking to me about that during that round as well. She was like,
Yeah.
What? But
So I think go
well,
ahead.
I was
Abram.
just gonna say, but I think it also shows that like George was kind of in, like he was talking to everyone, and even though he was kind of all over the place, he still like had these alliances with people that people were like, well, I'm not quite sure why I'm in this, but I guess I'm in an alliance with him, so it's better to keep him around than someone I'm not in an alliance with.
Yeah, George definitely came to play, and I think a lot of the audience appreciated that.
100%.
Even if it was a little strange.
She was messy, but we love
mess.
That's the only way we can describe it.
We love a mess. Most of the hosting team is a mess. We call them the gay majority. Anyways, so I think there are two things I do want to bring up about the flops tribe before we go and finish up with this round. Abram, I do want to ask about the logic behind the buggy vote out, because this was something that kind of shocked me, given that there was one other person on the tribe that I was fully expecting was going to be first boot.
Yeah, so that person is Booty, I'm assuming.
How did you know?
I was actually talking about Donnie, but okay. Just kidding, it was Booty.
So Buggy, I think Buggy was busy the first day because barely anyone heard much from him. And like speaking for myself personally, before the first tribal, I had heard maybe 2 or 3 messages more from Buggy than I had from Booty. So I think in a lot of people's minds they were pretty even. And I think because people were talking so much about both of them, that there were a few people who Booty did talk to more that saw that as an opportunity to have sort of Booty in their back pocket when he didn't talk much to other people. So I think specifically Sophie comes to mind. But
yeah,
because I know Buggy, like my personal preference would have been to have Booty go over Buggy, but I just think no one who wanted Booty gone over Buggy was actually willing to push it like at all for a first vote. Versus the momentum just kind of went in Booty's favor for that vote. And I mean, Buggy did get more active. He made that alliance, but at that point it was just a little too late, I think.
And he did slate up on Redemption Island for what, 2 rounds, was it?
Yes, it was 2 rounds. And so one of my favorite, so I have really 2 favorite moments from the first episode, one on the fans and one on the flops. And so on the flops tribe, I loved it in the confessional when Noah was like, Booty seems like the person to not talk to anybody and then talk about it in his comp how people are boring. And then, like, not 10 minutes later, Booty makes a comment about that.
Booty was definitely a character.
Oh yeah,
He was.
yeah.
And then on the fans, my favorite thing was the Inactives Alliance, as it was called, by Charon.
Oh yeah,
Oh wait, what was
that
that?
got wiped out one by one. There was an alliance made by Rachel, was it?
Yes.
Very early on, and it was her, Dangan, Finn, and Charon. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And basically, she just made it out of the blue. People were like, "Oh, this is a thing." Charon was like, "What's going on? Why am I in this?" And essentially, they were just doomed. Everyone but Charon was just knocked out pre-merge.
Oh man, the curse of the inactives alone.
Yeah, exactly.
But it did really foreshadow the social godliness of Charon.
True. Yeah. But
what's your opinion on Charon, Abram, as a player? I know we're still early on. But...
such a good. He's so good at just like connecting with people on like a personal level. Like even before he talks about game or anything. Like I think I've mentioned this in my confessional before, but like once we met, like the first VC that we had together, we were talking like in depth about our childhoods and like stuff like that. So like it's just like he has this way of just like getting to know people really well and getting people to trust him. And then on top of that, he has an incredible sense for the game itself. So he's able to really use those social connections to. I think Charon probably had some of the best information throughout the game because of that.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. I was blown away by Charon in like the first round. I remember we were recording the pass assessment, and the game had just started, things were going on, and just everyone was just speaking so highly of Charon already, like straight off the bat, that I was just like, I was so just flabbergasted at how amazing he was able to just get in with everyone. Like he was doing certain things with Brandon, doing certain things with Joe, doing certain things with Pig, doing certain things with Bomb that like fit with them. You know what I mean? And like
definitely.
He was just all over the place, but like in the best way possible. And it was just amazing to see.
Yeah, for sure. Like he put in work to like play games with people over VC, like
yeah. Didn't you guys play Civilization?
Yeah, I think he downloaded it specifically like to play it
for this org.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
I prefer The Sims myself.
Similar concept, right?
Okay, so Buggy and Bon are voted out. And then we get to the next round where we are hit with two twists at the same time.
Ugh, the technicality of we never called it a tribe.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're petty like that. We're petty.
I called it a tribe, I think, a few times, and I had to go back and edit the messages because everyone was like, "Steven, you're not supposed to call it a tribe." Oh my god.
Yeah, Steven was given a stern talking to by Simon that day. But so not only do we have that 3-tribe twist, but we also have the introduction of something that I did not think we would ever have in Sunvivor, which is Redemption Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Abram, what were your initial thoughts when Redemption Island was introduced?
Well, initially I was happy, because I mean, for everyone, that's like it's a bit of a safety net, right? And Buggy had just been voted out, and because we had that alliance, and the second day, once it was already kind of determined that he was going, I had good talks with him, so I thought if Buggy came back in, that would be pretty good for me.
Yeah.
And then he went on to not be so happy with me in Redemption. So then I was quickly like, maybe Redemption isn't such a good thing.
Yeah, Redemption Island definitely became the thorn in your side for the entirety of the game.
Yeah, that is one of the chats that I have read up on, and damn, like Finn, Buggy, so like everyone was just like completely shit talking me. It was wild.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, I'm sure. So at the final 18, we are I say final 18 as though that it's been a while, but there was one round, and so we're split into Horseman, Peanut Butter, and the Wind Tribe. And so, Steven, do you want to talk about like some of the dynamics of these tribes? Because I thought that these were some of like the best tribal dynamics in the history of the game. I really liked it.
Yeah, so on the Wind Tribe, it was basically everyone but Dangan getting along. I mean, like, you obviously had, I think, Savannah and Donnie were very close, and then Mikey as well. And then you had Pig and Brandon who were very close. And then Dangan was just on the bottom of it. So I think we all kind of thought, yeah, like whenever they go to tribal, it's going to be Dangan. That's going to be the one voted out. But I did really enjoy this tribe. I really enjoyed seeing just Donnie, Pig, Brandon, and Savannah kind of all get to know each other. You know, I think that they were all people that I loved.
I think that one of the interesting things about the Wind Tribe is that like we see like an actual power player emerge on this tribe, and it's Savannah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Savannah.
I'm sure you can talk about Savannah a lot, Steven.
Yeah. No, I obviously everyone knows that I know Savannah like outside of orgs and stuff, and like she like the only reason she applied for UA High was because I asked her to, and she surprised me in UA High, but she fucking blew me away this season. I'm just proud of her. There was a bit in the middle there at the merge where I was kind of like, what is this bitch doing?
Oh yeah,
but
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and she is just such a crazy social player that I love her. I love her.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we have the Peanut Butter Tribe, which is where we get the LGBT cuties in Joe, Noah, Dio, and Tony. And then we also have Rachel on that tribe, and then George is on that tribe as well. And basically,
how could we forget about George?
how could we? But basically, that tribe was essentially just the LGBT cuties kind of ruling the roost a bit. Rachel was always going to be a goner, and she was, as we saw. And then I think George was probably the next out, but he did have that idol, so you never know. If they did lose again, what would have happened? And then obviously we have the Horseman tribe, which is you, Abram, Sophie, Booty, you got stuck with, and then we had Karen, Finn, and there's someone else.
Minty.
Minty. How could I forget? Minty.
How could you forget about Minty?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm looking at a different server right now. Izzy Mason.
I think something interesting that kind of arises on the Horseman tribe is I think on the Horseman tribe, the fans versus flop dynamic kind of comes up the most and is the strongest like preconception.
Well, I think a lot of that is because we were the first to go to tribal after the swap. I think, is that right?
Yeah.
I believe you were the second.
Never mind, that's wrong.
But you guys did go to tribal a lot.
Yeah, we did.
We went to tribal twice.
I think Sophie was a big one promoting that. I feel like everyone on the tribe kept being like, "Oh, we don't want this to be fans versus flops," and then it just still was.
I do want to ask one question though, because neither Steven or I have ever had this experience. It would have been possible for us to, but unfortunately, Titan and Dane ruined it. What was it like being on a tribe with Booty? Like a full ass tribe.
I mean, like honestly, Booty didn't talk to me much. Like he would send me the good morning bestie TikToks. And that was kind of about it. So I like who's one of those people that like would pop up in tribe chat from time to time, but I mean obviously it was super super chaotic when it came to tribal, but for the most part he just was kind of not really there, which I think is one of the reasons that he ended up as one of the two on the bottom.
Yeah, that's fair.
Speaking of Booty and the other person being on the bottom, I did want to address that tribal council.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a big, not really a turning point, but it was definitely a memorable, sort of iconic moment from the pre-merge.
Definitely.
It was, yeah.
And so I do want to kind of hear your thoughts, Abram, starting with the what was the thought process behind, like, because originally it was going to be a 4-2 on Finn, if I remember correctly, but then you and Charon wanted to do a little bit of maneuvering.
So this was really Charon's idea because he didn't want to lose Minty by leaving her out. So he thought we would do a tie under the pretense of, fans and flops. And then he was always planning on flipping to vote Finn, which was really because Sophie was pushing for Finn over Booty because she had Booty in her pocket, basically. So that was really the driving force behind it, and for me, it was kind of like similar to the last vote. I had connected more with Finn than I had with Booty, but I still thought my connections with everyone else were good enough that it didn't matter a ton to me which one left. And in hindsight, the tie vote was probably a bad idea just because it did cause so much. I mean, it was a very dramatic vote and obviously a pivotal moment of the season or a memorable moment, but I definitely feel bad about how it went down.
That's fair. It was a big moment, but there was some kind of not like toxicity, but just kind of we don't like, even though we love the drama here, it's not every day that we want our castaways to have a full out scrap in the middle of a tribal council, like. But it would definitely
having a scrap.
Having a scrap.
Earlier today, Steven tried to say Irish phrases to me in DM, and I was like, "The fuck you just say about my mother?"
Mason has promised to take a Duolingo class, haven't you?
I have promised to take a Duo. I'm hoping to have Steven over sometime from Ireland, so I'm trying to speak to him in his native tongue.
Well, I was at the Guinness factory in Baltimore today, so.
Oh, stop! That's like my second home.
Oh yeah, I totally did forget about this though, but I remembered it this season. Abram, we're both from Maryland.
Oh yeah, we are.
Which one is that again? There's
Born
so
and
many
raised.
states.
That was Buggy.
It's like, do you know where New Jersey is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so it's like just a little bit south of New Jersey. It's like
I see.
Delaware, and then Maryland is like the bigger state that's like south of Jersey.
It's also right next to DC.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's where it's like this. Yeah. All we have is crabs. It's not much to stand.
Hey, crabs are everything to stand.
There are only two things that I know of that have crabs, and that's Maryland and Steven. Anyways, so oh.
Okay, I'll let you away with that one, bitch.
You know I'm hilarious.
Okay, can we continue this?
Of course. But so speaking, so Finn did go that vote, and then he did go on to beat Buggy in the Redemption Island duel, and talk a lot of shit about Abram.
Yeah,
I remember him being the worst offender.
I think I had made him feel pretty comfortable that vote in terms of like we had connected a lot, and I had connected more with him than Booty. And I think in my confessional I was like, actually considering flipping to Booty that vote because of the way things were going down in terms of the argument, but it would have ruined the plan that was already made and everything. So
you guys could have went to Rocks possibly if that had happened.
Right.
And that would have been.
Well, I would have
good.
said something about it publicly. I wouldn't have just switched.
That's
But,
fair.
yeah.
But Rocks is always more fun.
Yeah, I've never been to Rocks and I'd love to go, but I wasn't trying
I
to
don't
do
know,
the randomizer.
I think you should stay well away from Rocks because you do have a history of being, randomly chosen.
Randomly taken out.
I think it's not going to be good.
So speaking of, the vote after Finn's, this was something that I forgot totally happened, but it totally happened. Abram, you took Greed at the next immunity challenge.
I did.
The immunity challenge was Greed. And if anybody watched Bossing Say, everybody will know that the joint tribal which took you out was where Greed was at the challenge.
That's true.
So what was like the feeling that you had when you took that, when you said, I'm taking immunity in that chat?
I was like, I had a lot of adrenaline. I was like giggling to myself, and it was honestly a big high for me. I was like, this. I mean, it was fun, right? Like that's why we play.
Yeah.
And
Wait, these are fun for people?
That's what I hear. But yeah, I mean, I also just felt like for my story arc over, the entirety of Sunvivor, it was important that I take it here. I think in my application I said I will be taking Greed this season.
You did, I'm pretty sure.
You did say that. And I remember you also said it multiple times in your confessional prior to Greed.
Yeah. And then as soon as y'all announced it, I was like, I'm taking this. But I had to wait until I had to make it look like a panic decision or whatever. But
yeah,
I had kind of like dropped hints to Charon, like, what if Booty takes it? That would suck, or whatever. But everyone was like, no, don't take it. So I had to take it in.
I think Booty did say in his conf, did he say something where it was like, lol, what if I took it? And we were all like, no.
I believe he did say multiple times, I'm just going to take it.
Yeah, he kept joking about it in Tribe chat too. But or in the Greed chat. But I think he was pretty secure in, I think the fact that we went to a tie last vote worked in my favor this time too, right? Because we had just voted along fans flops lines and he was a flop. So he felt confident in our majority enough to not take it, even though there was a 4-person alliance that was everyone but
him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that eventually leads, you taking immunity and Booty's kind of like overconfidence eventually leads to his vote out and being sent to Redemption Island.
Yeah, and that wasn't good.
No, that was not good.
Oh yeah, the Finn Booty stuff continued there, didn't it?
Yeah.
The drama. It wasn't as much drama as it was trauma.
It was both. I feel like I think we gotta just give some props to Finn. Obviously Booty, you're iconic. you're a character. We love you, Booty. But I feel like Finn just really got, dealt a bad hand, and he took a lot of stuff head on, and then he won several duels on Redemption Island, and I think he really kind of just I think there was a part of all of us on the hosting team and like some of the specs as well that really just wanted to see Finn like just beast it and come back into the game,
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I was hoping for that too when he first went out. But then a little later, not so much. But
Yeah.
But I mean,
Finn was not the biggest fan of Abram on Redemption Island, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I think he really could have done like well if he had made it back in though, because like he did have a good social game. I think he just again fell prey on the Horseman tribe to being busier than the rest of us because he was working.
Yeah.
Imagine having a life
outside of orgs.
Orgs are love, orgs are life.
But no, Finn was a big character at Premerge. We love him. He gave it in the comps. You know, he had I think 2 or 3 video confessionals that were really nice. Just gave us a lot of insight. And
not to mention that, not only that,
Mhm.
but he won the most Redemption Island duels out of anyone on the cast.
Yeah.
And in the history of Sunvivor, because we've never done it before. So
we have not had, I mean, that's technically true. I'm not sure if it's like a very saturated market, but
that's the thing. You have like Savannah, who's literally the only person in this entire org to be voted out 3 times. No, that's not iconic. I don't know what it is.
We stop spoiling the season for our listeners.
Sorry, listeners. Sorry.
So Finn eventually does take out Buggy, Booty, and Dangan all from the game after the Wind Tribe loses and has to send Dangan out as the lone loner.
We love Dangan. We loved his
we do love Dangan.
His Lana Del Rey parchment. They were very good.
I do wanna bring up one thing that I did notice around this time though. A perception on the Wind Tribe, if you will, that Savannah, despite being social queen, social goddess, is overplaying. Specifically from the duo of Pig and Brandon.
I think, yeah, she was. I think her overplaying in the pre-merge is obviously what led to what happened at the end of the pre-merge. But I feel like I don't know if she would have been like the next to go though. You know, if they had lost another.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, here's fun speculation. Who do we think would have been the next to go
on Win?
Yeah, on Win.
I want to say Mikey or Pig. One of those.
Probably Mikey.
Yeah.
But you know, Savannah, her and Mikey were like
they're very close.
Very close. Which no.
So what happened next? Next is the swap, is it? Or am I shooting the gun?
Is our second tribe swap.
Mm-hmm.
Into Horseman and Peanut Butter dissolves. And we have, I think it's fair to say for this tribe swap that we have one tribe that is, I think the complex tribe is definitely like the new Horseman tribe. It definitely has the bigger characters, because you know on that tribe we have of course Sir Abram.
We do,
and we do have Abram, and then so we have the duo of Mikey and Tony
getting reunited.
We have Savannah, who is her own thing, and then we have Sophie. And then we have 2 people who are not in a power position, but have just been like kind of getting by on their social games. We have Charon and Dio, who, like, Dio has not yet been mentioned, but I think Dio's impact on the season must needs be addressed.
Oh, 100%. I was just going to say that. I was like, this is the first time we said Dio's name, and I can't believe it because she was such an integral part of the season. And her position on this swap drive is just so interesting as well, because if you kind of think about it on paper, I feel like it seems like Dio should be the person to go. You know, like you have this kind of flop majority, and then you have Charon, who's just, you know, who's in everyone's good graces. But no, like Dio literally just, she finds her way in, she gets in good with everyone, and she just shows us how amazing she is.
It's really amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, Dio and Charon did end up being the 2 people with the most power on that tribe after the Sophie vote. But yeah.
Let's talk about the Sophie vote. What was your thinkings for that round? Because obviously we've mentioned how you and Sophie were pretty close. You guys have been together for the entire game up to this point. So
yeah, definitely. So that vote, everyone else hadn't talked as much to Sophie. So and what was it? I think the double date alliance had already been created.
Oh yes.
And the double date alliance was Mikey, Tony, Savannah, and Abram, right?
Yeah, because we had all been working, Savannah and I and Mikey and Tony, as two pairs, had separately been working on the movie Idol.
Yeah.
And then I guess Mikey and Savannah kept working on it, and they were like, "Oh, we're two duos." So for me, my thinking this round was, I can't pitch any of those three to any of the other people in the tribe. So, or to any of the other people in that alliance. So my options are either add Dio to me, Charin, and Sophie, to get out, a Mikey or something, and then have Tony and Savannah upset, or if I don't want Sophie to go, to try and get everyone to go onto Dio. And Dio seemed, when I talked to Dio, she was set on voting for Sophie. So the first option wasn't going to happen. And then I think I just didn't really even try to get things onto Dio, because I just, based on talking to people, I knew that socially it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. When you were talking about getting rid of Dio and having Dio as both my winner pick and an integral part of my draft, I near shit my pants. I was like, no, don't, my draft people, don't turn against each other, you fools.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good thing that I didn't, because the next vote Dio ends up sticking up for me. And so I think looking back, voting Sophie was the right decision, even though it didn't necessarily feel good at the time, because we had been together the whole time. But yeah.
And I think one more thing before we continue, one thing that is very important to note, I believe it is around this time that Tony himself gets an idol.
That is on that's on the previously swapped tribe. We actually glossed over that, but that was he does have an idol in his pocket at this point in time.
And that leads to a pretty big moment that we're gonna get to in some time. Ooh. Let's do a three-way ooh, like an interested three-way ooh on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Okay.
So Abram, earlier you mentioned that Charn and Dio, despite seeming to be the ones that should be on the bottom, they're actually the ones that become the power players in the next vote, which, I'm gonna be real, really shook me to my core when this vote happened. So Abram, do you want to kind of like walk us through what happened?
Yeah.
The pieces?
So basically, the double date alliance was looking to target Charin, and at the same time, Mikey and Tony. I guess this goes back to what we said before about the perception that Savannah was overplaying. Because this alliance was an open two duos alliance, I guess they wanted to strike at our duo before we could strike at theirs, or something like that. I don't totally understand the logic behind why they wanted to do it,
No one did, Abram.
No one did. We'll talk how dumb it is in a minute.
But so yeah, they wanted to vote one of me or Savannah, and they went to Charon and Dio about it. And Charon ended up telling me, which for me, like at this point, right, like Savannah and Charon are the two closest people to me on this tribe.
Of course.
But knowing that Tony and Mikey are coming after me or Savannah, of course, I'd much rather it be Savannah. And I think
you got a bit of Sandra in you.
Exactly. And of course, I did go to Dio and Charon a bit about voting for Mikey, but I think they also had like for them it was also better to break up our duo, because I think Mikey and Tony were a much more obvious duo come merge, which ended up being true. That's my guess, at least as far as why Dio and Charon didn't bite on the Mikey stuff, but they both do end up pushing for Savannah over me, which was great. So I didn't end up doing a ton this vote. I voted for Charon because no one else had told me other than him. And this keeps our duo a secret as well. And it set us up pretty good for early merge as well, because I got to, go around to people and be like, oh, I was left out of the last vote.
Yeah.
Help me, please. But yeah, fill in any gaps that I had there. But
Well,
yeah.
I feel like we all need like our gaps filled in, because this vote was just like we were talking about, everyone in Spec Lounge and host chat was just talking about how kind of dumb it was, because Savannah really just was 100% loyal to Mikey and Tony. Like she,
Oh yeah,
like
exactly.
It was just so kind of.
Yeah,
I can't even talk about it.
I was kind of surprised at it too, because the whole time that we were in this 4-person alliance, I was writing in my confessional about how much closer these three were with each other than they were with me. So
yeah,
this whole time I'm like, wait, Mikey and Tony want to vote Savannah out because she's close to me, but I was spending this whole time thinking that she was close to them. So I don't know. It was just weird.
It was very much like it was very much like Russell voting out Danielle in Heroes versus Villains. Like there's just no reason for it, and as I was watching it, because like I don't know if you know this, Abram, but the hosts, like looking at the interviews, we were all pretty confident that a fan would win.
Yeah.
And so, with that context in mind, when we saw that Mikey and Tony were going to vote out Savannah over someone like Charon, we were all like, what are you doing? You're blowing it.
It was crazy. And obviously this leads to the final duel, where it's Sophie versus Savannah. And Abram, before this happened, like who were you kind of hoping would come back out of the two of them, Sophie or Savannah?
Out of those two, I was hoping it would be Savannah, because I assumed that her connection with Tony and Mikey was now broken.
Well, it's a great assumption to make.
You know what they say about assumptions.
Which did not end up being a true assumption. But,
I do also want to say something. I do want to highlight a move that like I think was kind of like underrated that I think Abram did that during the Savannah vote. So Savannah I think was the first like shocking thing of this, like the first thing that really shook everybody.
Yeah.
And she was voted out 5-2, and I thought that it was so smart of Abram, especially with the Redemption Island duel thing in play. I think it was really smart of you not to vote for Savannah.
Yeah. 100%.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that really kept that connection going, and it just shows to like it just shows like how kind of detailed your game was, and how you were just kind of you were everything had purpose, everything was intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also with not just with Savannah, but with Dio, Tony, and Mikey, none of them had told me about it. So if I vote Savannah there, then I'm letting them know that I'm like basically telling them about that I have more information than they know that I have, which raises my threat level as well. So
Oh my god, smart.
I didn't really ever see voting Savannah as an option there because of that.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it did play off. It put you in a great position in the merge that came next round, and also the fact that like you, Savannah, obviously it's in the future right now, but like you, Savannah, and Donnie, were this kind of tight trio right at like in the finale. You know what I mean? So I guess like
Yeah.
not like the fact that you did stick by Savannah really did. I want to say that the fact that you did stick by her like was great because she would stick by you, but also she stuck by the people that voted her out. So I don't really.
Right.
I don't.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about this final duel.
Mhm.
So, at the second to last duel, Sophie defeats Finn, which is like kind of a shocking thing because Finn was on kind of a hot streak there.
Yeah.
And then we have Savannah versus Sophie, which
It was
I
nail
know
biting.
Steven,
It was nail biting.
I was about to say I was on the edge of my seat.
100%.
Like, Steven, you want to talk? You want to talk a bit about this duel?
Like the challenge was, I think it was the first ever Sunvivor challenge back in season 1, but like just kind of revamped. And just the way that this challenge played out, it was just so like I don't know, like I was just glued to the screen on my phone watching it. I was going into their Sophie and Savannah submissions to see what they do, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like this is so like I've actually never kind of witnessed a challenge in an org before where I've just been so like into it. I've been so entertained by it. And obviously, maybe part of that has to do with the fact that Savannah was winning. Like I love Sophie, but like I was totally just wanting her to come back because the storyline there of her getting voted out and immediately back was just too good to not happen, And I'm glad it did happen.
Yeah.
And also, like, I love Sophie, but like Savannah was a person in my draft, and I needed Nitro from Quinn. So
this is all Mason cares about.
Sorry.
Noticing a pattern here.
Steven, I didn't win Mexico City or Bossing Say. I need to win something.
Yeah, you had to. I mean, a draft is just as good.
What the fuck you trying to say?
But yeah. So Savannah ends up winning, which is amazing, crazy. I was yelling, I was shitting, I was just, I was all over the place. I was for it.
So happy.
Yeah, no.
Abram, what were your thoughts when Savannah came back into the game?
Oh,
like immediate, like.
I was excited. I think the first thing I did was go to her and talk about the last vote. And that's when I learned that she like was not upset. But yeah, I think
she was certainly not upset enough.
I don't know. I think a lot of people were rooting who are still in the game were hoping she wasn't going to come back in.
Yeah.
Like I think I was one of the few people that it benefited. Like maybe Donnie as well, or like some of her allies on the other tribes.
Donnie definitely, because he was screaming in his comps. Like he posted like about like 12 gifs in a row or something when she got voted out. When it was revealed, he was like, "What the fuck?"
It almost beat Donnie's previous record of having 14 gifts in a row.
Oh man.
Donnie's comps. I just love Donnie's comps so much.
Donnie's great.
Girl, I love Donnie's comps. So now that we're getting into the merge, I think that this is a good place to stop. This is going to be the end of part 1 of a season in review, Sunvivor Hollywoo Fans versus Flops. We're done with the pre-merge, and for part 2, we're gonna do the monster, the merge.
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye, guys. Bye.
I
Bye.